The Chiefs are still the kings of the West. Can anyone knock them down? What's going on, guys? Diggs Report here, back to you with another video. And today we have another off-season preview, the last of the AFC teams, the AFC West, where the Chiefs have just been dominating this division. And let's see if anybody can catch up with them. We're going to start with the Denver Broncos. Okay, because of the Russell Wilson trade, Denver does not have their first or second round pick. They do not pick until the third round, 67th overall. And they have a new head coach now, after firing Nathaniel Hackett after less than a season, which was disappointing from the very beginning. The trade for Russell Wilson was also disappointing from the very beginning. Wilson had his worst season as a pro, and the Broncos' offense was just a stalemate at times this season. They were easily the worst offense in the league for most of the season. Well, now, Sean Payton is back as a head coach. They got him from the New Orleans Saints. Now the question becomes, how quickly can Payton turn around at this Broncos team, and can Russell Wilson have a rebound season? We're not entirely sure just yet. Meanwhile, they have $9 million in cap space. Draymond Jones, Dalton Risner, Billy Turner, those are key free agents along the trenches. Draymond Jones, defensive lineman, and Billy Turner and Dalton Risner on the offensive side. Also, Kareem Jackson is a free agent. He was their starting safety last year. So we're going to see what happens with this Broncos team. They have a lot of talent. Patrick Surtain have very good receiving core. They're going to have Javonte Williams coming back after his injury. Really, the question becomes, can this Broncos team put it together and fight for a wildcard spot? Because, well, as we see with our next team, it's going to be very hard to catch up to them. And speaking about that team, let's talk about it. Kansas City Chiefs, amazing season, Super Bowl champions again for the second time in 4 years. And this came after having questions about whether this offense could still roll after trading away Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. Well, it turns out they could. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster, they drafted Sky Moore, and Patrick Mahomes in this offense just did not miss a beat. Now, Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent, along with McCole Hardman on the wide receiver core. But even if they're not able to re-sign those guys, I still think they're going to be able to get some solid receiver help for Patrick Mahomes. They're going to want to play with him. It's about as simple as that. The big question is Orlando Brown. They got him in a trade with the Baltimore Ravens. They franchised him last year. I don't know if they're going to put the franchise tag on him again this year. However, left tackles are hard to find. Good left tackles are hard to find in this league, and it's going to be tough to replace him if they do lose him. The problem is they're $3 million over the cap, and also Derek Nottie, Carlos Dunlap, Andrew Wiley, and Juan Thornhill are also free agents. They're also picking 31st overall in the draft, but that's not important right now. What's important is how are they going to free up money, and who are they going to be able to bring in to replace some of those guys that they might lose. But knowing a team like the Chiefs, they're going to figure it out. Alright, so we got some news out of Las Vegas. The Raiders are going to franchise Josh Jacobs if they are not going to be able to come to terms on a long-term deal with him, which is a really good idea because Jacobs is a very good running back in this league. They are picking 7th overall in the draft. And the biggest question is going to be, are they going to go for a veteran quarterback or are they going to go for one of the rookies? Not entirely sure. They may decide to trade up to get one of those quarterbacks. Again, we don't know necessarily. And with them having $48 million in cap space, they're going to have enough money to, one, sign Jacobs to a long-term deal if they can come to terms with one, and still sign some very good players. Some other free agents that they're going to have to deal with. Rockinson, who's a very solid corner in this league, would like to keep him around. There's also Denzel Perryman, who's been a very solid linebacker in this league, been in the NFL for a long time, but the question still remains. Rookie, veteran, trade, no trade, what's going to happen at the quarterback position? Josh McDaniels was able to survive a terrible year last year from the Raiders. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive another one. They have to have a direction right now. The Chargers are $20 million over the cap. They have to free up room somehow. That could include cutting some key veterans like Keenan Allen and Khalil Mack. There's also Nasir Adderley, who's a free agent, solid safety, Drew Tranquill, who led them in tackles last year, DeAndre Carter, a solid wide receiver / return specialist, and Kyle Van Noy's just been in this league for a long time. So it's not too bad free agency-wise, but the key's going to be, who are they going to have to release to get under the cap? And they're picking 21st overall after going to the playoffs and blowing a 27-0 lead against Jacksonville. I don't know how they did that, and it's not a good look right now. They also have to get a long-term deal done with Justin Herbert. They drafted him 6th overall back in 2020, and he has rewarded them ever since with great quarterback play. The problem is he hasn't had much help. And the sad thing is they've had a talented team. Of course, you have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams, Derwin James, they had Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, and somehow the Chargers were only able to go to the playoffs once, and they blew a 27-0 lead. Herbert needs a supporting cast. Another thing is, can Brandon Staley survive another season? There were times when the Chargers fans were calling for his head last year because of some questionable decisions that he made. Is he going to be able to survive this season if it goes off to a rocky start? I'm not sure. But this is a big season for the Chargers. They are more talented than what their play has been on the field. Alright guys, those were my thoughts on the offseason preview for the AFC West. And the last division is the NFC West. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.